author of Mastering Probability, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters out there. Welcome. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the Trader's Edge. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I absolutely love being here with you, even if it is 48 degrees outside. In fact, it's nice and warm in this studio for a chance, and it's going to be a great day, great weather day down here in Florida. I hope it's going to be the same for you. If you're listening to us on the radio, thanks so much for doing that. We really appreciate your support. And if you're listening to us otherwise, you know what we want you to do is go over to TigerTV, because you'll be able to watch this show live. And the easy way to do that, go to the homepage of tfnn.com, click on TigerTV. You'll be able to see my screens, which is really important, because absolutely I'm going to be able to teach you something. I know that I can teach you something, or at least make you say, something to think about. Now, yesterday, you know, we had fireworks, and Tom and I, we were on our space shuttle mission. You had the Dow finish up, 490 points. You had the composite finish up 104 points yesterday. And you talk about even a little bit of a rocket ship. You had the Hang Seng finish up 1,012 points, up almost 6%. You know, so we'll go tour around the world. We'll take a look at what's going on out there right now. If you take a look at our markets, there, you know, not a whole lot of activity when you consider you had a 490-point day. You got the Dow futures down about 30, the S&P futures down maybe about 3.5. So we'll come back to the markets, and you can always give us a call, 877-927-6648. Love to hear from you. And, you know, I want to start off just simply by reading a email that I got last night. And, you know, I talk about, you know, why is it that you do the things that you do in life? And it's so important to understand that. Look, I've spent the last 25 years, quarter of a century, understanding what makes people do what they do, what makes me do what they do. When you get inside your head, it helps you in everything you do in life. It helps you in trading, you know, and you need to really understand that. So why do I do this? You know, today's going to be a great day. I'm here for 3 hours with you today. So this is my lucky Thursday. You know, might be Saki Thursday night or something like that. And so why is it that I do what I do? Well, it's because it meets my needs. It meets my needs for growth and contribution. Well, you know, what is it that jazzes me up? I got an email like I got last night. You know, it said, Steve, I've been listening to TFNN for a couple of years. I've recently subscribed to your newsletter and rarely miss your shows on Tiger TV and your webinars. So much to learn. For the first time since retiring last year, I feel that I'm in the right place, listening to the right people. I love your teaching style, and it's already making a difference in my trading account, more importantly, in my life. Folks, that is why I do what I do, because what I want to be able to do, if I can just touch one person each day, and then they can touch somebody else, and it's really about more than just touching one person, but if I can touch just one person a day, if I get an email like that from someone, that is why I do that's why I do what it is that I do. So what does that all, you know, start with? Well, first it starts with, you know, making sure that you put yourself in a peak state, or maybe getting some cerebral fluid flowing through the brain. Well, how do you do that? Just simply go ahead and twist a little bit, you know, because your spine, if you can move your spine around, you know, whether you're bending over, doing a little chubby check or twist or something, what you'll do is you'll release cerebral fluid into your brain. And so you should do that before you go ahead and make any kind of decision in life. It just makes you a little bit smarter. How about that? I just taught you something. Maybe I taught you how to become just simply a little bit smarter, to get on your game, if you will. True fact. You know, any physician will tell you that. And then what you do is put yourself in a peak state. How do you do that? You know, take yourself to a place of strength, a place of serenity. I do that. That's what you've got, you know, over my shoulder. Well, not exactly over my shoulder just yet, but it'll be there in our, oh, how about that? Gotta love that magic, if you will. The magic of radio, the magic of Tiger TV. And so, you know, I take myself exactly to the spot where it is that I want to be. And then what is it all about? Well, you know, folks, when you're in the trading business, for the most part, you are a one-man or one-woman army. Think about it. You know, who is making the trading decisions for you? Even if you're subscribing to newsletter services, even if you're doing things on your own, even if you're listening to the television and getting some type of advice, even if you're opening your eyes as you're walking through stores, you're taking a look at what people are buying or what they're not buying, right? Both are just as important. That's about going long or going short, and you want to understand that. And so it is all about you are one man, one woman army. Well, no matter what, you still have to lead, right? And so what is, what's leadership all about? Or, and words are important to us. They are absolutely important to us. And so a lot of times, I'm going to use a word here. I'm going to call it, salespeople. Sometimes people complain maybe about the commercials that we have, that we play, or that you hear in life, or that you hear on the radio or television. Now, and so what is it that you actually think of a salesperson? Let me ask you that question out there. Now, you can't answer, but I can kind of get the feel, for what do you think about a salesperson? Most people will say, they're dogs, they're scum, I should turn that off, different, what I'll call automatic negative thoughts. Now, here's the deal. If you're an owner of business, and if you're trading, you are the owner of your business. There's no question you are the owner of your business. So if you're the owner of a business, don't you have to be the numero uno salesperson out there? What is sales after all? What is it? It's all about influence, right? It's really all about being able to influence someone. And I want you to understand that because of what's going on in your head when you're trading is you really have to be able to influence yourself. You've got to be able to influence yourself when you see a pattern set up, whatever that might be, in order to be able to take action. You are a one-man, a one-woman army. You are a salesperson. You have got to sell yourself. You have got to influence yourself to be able to take some type of action. What kind of action? A lot of times it's called massive action, folks. Now, think about it just simply in life. Not only do you have to be You've got to be the best influencer, right? If you really want to transform your own life, if you want to transform the lives of others. And think about just being a kid. Can you remember being a kid? Maybe you have kids. Maybe you've got grandkids like I do, if you will. Kids are some of the best salespeople, aren't they? They're not taught anything. They are the best influencers. Let's just change the word. Remember, if you've been listening, I shared with you how, at one point in time, somebody called me a dreamer. And that word stuck with me for a little while. And I said, well, wait a minute here. It's not that I'm a dreamer, I'm a visionary. And once I understood that I wasn't a dreamer, I was a visionary, that's how I've made things happen in life. That's how I've made big things happen in life. That's why I want you to be a visionary. It's why I want you to be a leader. It's why we're having this conversation this morning, because what I want to be able to do is impact your trading. Whether or not you subscribe to my newsletter service, that doesn't really matter. I want you to be a great visionary, a great leader. I want you to be a great influencer of yourself. And I want you to think back. Sometimes there's anchors. Think back to when you were a kid or what your kids do. Think of a kid who wants to go get ice cream, right? And you tell them no. I'll bet you the majority of the time, 5 minutes later, they're walking around with an ice cream in their hand, an ice cream cone. If you're in a mall or wherever it is, and you don't think that's the case, go take a grandkid, go take a small child, and I'll bet you, go watch them. Stand back, step out of your body, if you will, and observe their influencing skills. Well, I want you to be that kid at heart, if you will, when you're trading these markets and when you're making decisions. I want you to be a great influencer, because that is the single most important skill of any leader, of any business owner. And you are a business owner when it comes to this market, or maybe you're not even trading in these markets. Maybe you're actually running a business, or maybe you're running a subsidiary of a business, or whatever you're doing inside a business, you've got to take ownership of it. You are the owner of that business. I don't care whether you're answering the phone, whatever it is you are doing, you are the owner inside that little group. And I want you to be a great influencer. You come in contact with folks all the time. Tom was talking about when he was traveling and was dealing with Continental Airlines, and what he didn't really like was, those folks didn't want to have a community. They want to communicate. They weren't influencers about anything. It was like, go talk to the computer screen. Go talk to the machine. The single most important skill, in trading, in life, is being a great influencer. Now, why is it that you've got to be, what do great leaders do? What do great leaders do, folks? They solve problems, right? That's why we've got issues with regard to going on in our country and other countries worldwide, right? We're looking for a great leader, aren't we? People want to be led. And what we want is we want to be able to find great leaders. Why? Because we need them to solve problems. We got problems in life. We got problems in our markets. Yesterday is a real sign of problems that I believe are problems to come. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. But right now, I want you to understand that how you make that transformation, that you're a leader of your own business, of your one-man, one-woman army in this marketplace, and you've got to get your head wrapped around that you've got to be the best salesperson. But get rid of that word and just simply change that to influencer. It's got a little bit more positive, connotation, if you will. Think of yourself as being a great influencer. Then you can make the move to being a great leader, because you've got to be able to lead yourself. But here's the problem. Great leaders solve problems. If you've got problems in your trading, problems in your relationships, problems in anything that you've got in life, what you actually need, folks, is you need others. Because if you could have solved that problem on your own, you would have done so, right? Just think about it. If you've got a problem, with your trading skills, let's talk about trading, right now. If you have a problem with trading, you need others. So the question is, where do you go to find those others? They're all out there. You've got all types of access to great influencers out there, folks that can help you. But realize that if you're stuck, if you've got a problem, you aren't able to solve it yourself. You need to leverage. You need to be able to find others. Otherwise, folks, you would have solved the problem. So think about that, as you progress in your day, because what I want you to so much understand is this is a business. This is the money game business. I want you to, if you haven't gone and listened to just listen to the webcasts that I've done that you can see on Channel 5. In fact, go and take a look at, on last Tuesday, I taped the segment that I wanted to play on Thursday and Friday, and it is on Channel 14. So I think the date was the 25th. I'd like you, it's obviously it's an hour show, but it wasn't spent on the markets. It was really spent on helping you to understand how it is that you get in this money game and you become a great influencer of yourself, a great leader of yourself, that you become that great one-man army, one-woman army, so that you too can accomplish anything that you want in life. 877-927-6648. We get back, we'll go take a spin around the world. Enough of this leadership stuff, huh? We'll be right back, folks.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end, as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi folks, Steve Rhodes here. Tom O'Brien and I need your help. Together, let's change the cash for gold industry once and for all. Now is the time to unleash the game changer, and that's you folks. We've all seen the power of viral marketing. It's overthrown dictators, and now it's time to rid the thieves in this cash for gold industry. Together, we can change this industry in a heartbeat. You know about our industry-leading payouts, our free tools, our video valuation, and the education that we provide to help folks value their jewelry. Tom and I are experts and the industry's most trusted team. Please join us now by spreading the word to your entire email list. We'll pay you 5% of the total payout, which on average would be $50 per transaction. 100 transactions is $5,000 in your pocket. We'd rather put our marketing dollars in your pocket and more money in your referrals pocket. Go to TigerMetalExchange.com and click on the Become a Partner button to join our team. 2013. Let's start a revolution, folks. We can't do it without you. TigerMetalExchange.com, the only click you need to make.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Don't forget, you can test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back, 877-927-6648, and thanks again so much for joining us. And you know what I'm going to throw up on the screen here right now behind me is, where does yesterday rank, in the, let's say, the top 20 days of up days that we have had in this market, and what does that mean to us? And hopefully you can see this on the screen. You can see this on Tiger TV. And yesterday we closed up the Dow, and I'm just taking a look at the Dow. So you've got the Dow that closed up 490 points, up 4.24%. And if we go back through the history of the Dow, that ranks as day number 7 as far as up days. What you've got before that, you've got October, what's in the charge, and boy, I remember this day, October 13th, 2008, when the Dow was up 936 points, 11%. October 13th, 2008. And when did the bottom of the market come in, just out of curiosity? That's right, March of 2009. So the biggest update that you had came in well before you saw the end of the bloodshed, right? For the time being. How about the next date, October 28th, 2008? You were up 889 points. October 28th versus March of 2009. How about the next one, November 13th, 2008, up 552 points, up 6%. November 13th versus March 2009. Something to think about, folks. Absolutely something to think about. So what does that mean? Do you see possibly a pattern here? Well, let me put it to you like this. If you just took a look at the top 20 and the top 20 winners, the top 20 losers, just simply from a point standpoint, and what I did is I just simply, let me switch screens here. So let's switch over to this chart here that I've been showing you, and which is the channels of the New York Stock Exchange, which is a better way to be able to take a look at the overall breadth of the markets, if you will. And when you take a look at this, if you take a look at my charts here, where you're in a confirmed down move in this channel, to me, that's what I'm naming a bear market. When you're in a confirmed uptrend, then you're in a bull market, okay? And so in this case here, you really wouldn't enter the bull market phase until you cleared this channel. So that's what I'm using. In this up phase here that we've got that took us into the 2007 time frame, you weren't really in a bear market until you cleared this downtrend, this trend line, this uptrend, the bottom of this uptrend line. So that's how I've used my data to determine whether or not the market was in a bullish mode or a bearish mode. So now let me share with you, as we take a look at all of those 20 points, let me throw this up on the screen here. And, you know, folks, I'm not trying to prove any point. If you talk to my subscribers, you see I go long and go short in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You know, that is what being a leader is all about. That's what I just want. I let the markets, I let the charts influence me, and then I go ahead and make a decision. And there is no wrong decision. The only wrong decision is sitting there looking like maybe you're a deer in the headlights. That doesn't work real well. Now, so now that I've given you my parameters with regard to how I've defined a bull or a bear market, if you go back and you take a look at from 2003 forward, so I say we're in a bull market from July 2003 through December 2007, and how many top 20 gain days did we have, folks? 0. How many top 20 loss days did we have? 0. Now let's switch over to the bear market, which really started January 2008 through July 2009. How many top 20 gain days did we have? 11. 11 of the 20. How many top 20 loss days did we have? 11. 11 of the 20. So do you see? This is saying, hey, in a bull market, it should be somewhat orderly, if you will. And in a bear market, what do you have? You've got nothing but huge volatility. Well, let's continue going further down the line here. How about the bull market, August 2009 to July 2011? How many top 20 gain days did you have? 1. How many top 20 loss days did you have, folks? 0. Absolutely 0. So that's our bull market run. Pretty orderly, wouldn't you say? Now, how about since we started the new leg of this bear market, August 2011 through the present? We've already had 3 of the top 20 gain days and 3 of the top 20 loss days. I just present the information to you, folks. You go ahead and think about it. You go ahead and take a look at it. I say the charts don't lie. The charts are showing us where we're at, and the charts are showing us, folks, that we are in a bear market, the worst bear market that we could possibly have. You're going to have these up days and down days. And until we get some order, until we create a new channel, folks, that's where we're at. So, you know, I'm not proving any case. I'm just presenting information to you because that's what a leader does. A leader takes a look at information so that they can make decisions about whatever it is. In this case here, it's about playing the money game. It's about understanding where you are in the market. How do you know where you're going to? Unless you know where you're coming from. Folks, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in the equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this trader's market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-949-8207. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-949-8207. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-949-8207. That's 1-800-949-8207.
Did you know that the price of gold is up over 24% this year, while the GDX, the Market Vectors Gold Miners ETF, is actually down 1.4% this year? Not all gold stocks are created equal, and not all gold stocks move with the price of gold. In October, Tom O'Brien recommended a buy of FCX in his gold report, and only 6 trading days later advised his clients to close the position, profiting almost 22% in this one trade. During the same 6 trading days, the price of gold was barely up 5%. Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, gives investors the inside edge they need to profit in this gold market. Each Monday morning, Tom issues a gold market update at around 9:30 a.m., then issues a full report each Tuesday afternoon. For as low as $75 per month, you can gain access to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. To order your gold report with a free 30-day trial subscription, log on to tfnn.com today or call 877-518-9190.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
And we're off to the races. And you've got the Dow down 16 points. S&P down about 3. Composite down 6. Small caps down about 4.6. Small caps leading the charge down about 0.6 tenths of a percent. NDX is pretty much flat as we speak. And so what I've got up on my screen here, folks, and you can always give me a call, 877-927-6648. Absolutely would love to hear from you. And what I've got up on my screen is the S&P 500, the S&P cash, the SPX, and so we're just following up on the patterns, if you will, that I've shown to you that we have here. This first pattern that we've got, this first triangle wedge, as you know, and these patterns, folks, when you see those wedges, those flags, if you will, those pennants, what you're talking about is those usually will resolve themselves in the direction of the move. In this case here, the move was coming off of October 4th, but instead what it did was it resolved itself to the downside. That was a very bearish sign. You can't lose a track of that. You've always got to know where you've come from in order to know where it is that you're going to. Where else were we coming from? Where we were coming from was this P-index date that actually the actual physical date occurred on the 26th. It was really the 27th that we now use as the high because these things don't hit exactly on time as they show up in the daily aspectarian in the ephemeris. But the high of October 27th, as you know, is very important to us, and it's also important because we had that we had the Three Rivers Evening Star, named for one of the great generals in the 16th century, Nobunaga Oda-san. And so, and what we had, what is amazing, is you see, I've just simply taken the tops, if you will, from that P-index date, from the 27th, and have shown this declining tops, if you will, that we have out here. You can see that the S&P basically this morning opened up right at about that area. It's trading just down just slightly, and we'll see if that area gets penetrated. Now, what do we do on the bottom side? This is absolutely where the lines, these blue lines, are where the lines have been drawn in the bulls against the bears. Because on the bullish side, what we have is you had the exact opposite. You had the Three Rivers Morning Star that occurred, and that was a 3-candle That's a 3-candle pattern, folks, that is taking place from November 23rd, the 25th, and then when we came back on the 28th. And on the 28th, you also had this nice bullish engulfing candle here on the S&Ps. You not only engulfed the 25th, which was a pretty easy thing to do, but you also engulfed the 23rd. So you've got some real battle lines, if you will, that that are drawn here. And when either of those two get broken, it's going to be sending you a real important signal. So what you want to do is you want to be able to go ahead and you want to be able to at least notate this on your charts so that if you are in some stocks, go take a look at the stocks. See if those stocks have the same patterns that we're taking a look at right here. So, are we now at the top of this range? It may be, and I'll just wait to take a look at the action today. But we may be, and if we start coming down, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to come down to this bottom of this range just like we did on this wedge pattern here. It absolutely makes sense. What we're able to do is we're able to watch patterns repeat themselves day in, day out, time and time again. Don't get caught up in the euphoria of what happened yesterday. Right now, what folks are doing is they're looking under the covers to see what that was really all about. Was the signal such that folks having an update like that and knowing when you take a look at the other updates that we had, they didn't signal the bottom, that the bottom was in. So why would yesterday be any different? Why? Why would yesterday, especially when you take a look at all this stuff? Anyways, 877-927-6648. You get the Dow off 32, S&P's off 4. We'll be right back, folks.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Give the gift of silver. This holiday season, TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how. At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, I just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650, but you get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
Yeah, I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by South American Silver Corporation. For more information, just click the South American Silver Corporation banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Right now, you got the Dow down 26 points. The S&P's down 2. Composite down 2 as well. The small cap's down 4.6. And you've got the NDX is showing green. You got Apple Computer trading pretty much flat. Google's up $6. Amazon up $1.60. Intel down 16 ticks. King Dollar. Where's King Dollar? King Dollar is, where is that on my screen? There we go. King Dollar down 12 ticks. And we take a look at the euro right now. You've got the euro trading at $1.34, 1.347. And when we take a look at the euro chart that I've got on my screen, you know, what is amazing is actually the continued weakness. When you take a look at, you know, what was potentially signaled yesterday, when we take a look at the markets here, the euro still hasn't been able to bounce to the 0.382. I mean, that is such a normal bounce area that you would have when you complete a pattern, and it's cleared. You know, it's cleared its swing point down here from the low of October 4th. You cleared that finally yesterday, but today it still can't get out of its way. It still can't get up there, and so you know what that is also sending us a signal that you know the end is not over with regard to the bad news that's out there. Folks do not want to hold on to euros. That being the case, you know, that will go ahead and that will move the dollar higher. We know there's a correlation. We'll go over to take a look at our correlation chart here in a moment. If we take a look at what else is going on out there, because you want to understand the currencies that are inside the basket of the dollar index. We take a look at the Great British Pound. You can see here how the Great British Pound, just simply using your retracement tool from the high that you had here on October 31st down to the low that we made on November 25th. And you want to make sure you take a look at that ruler and just have at least 3 retracement areas, 382, 618, and 786. And if you take a look at those areas, what you'll see is the pound, in fact, got up there, got up to the, when I say up there, got up to the 0.382, where it should have gotten up to. And got up there yesterday, closed below it. Today it's trying to tackle it again. It'll be interesting to see where the pound finishes out its session as we take a tour around the currency marketplace. What else can we see? Let's take a look at the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar had a real nice run here, and the Canadian dollar, you know, was the candle pattern that had the best candle pattern to take a look at, where you would expect to have seen as much of a trampoline effect, as much of a bounce off of the low. And what I'm talking about here is you had on the daily chart on October 4th, what the Canadian-U.S. dollar pair did was it created this nice hammer candle, and the top of that on the Canadian dollar was at 95.17. The Canadian dollar on the 25th gets down to a low of 95.03, closes out at 95.30, rejects that price. You know, in a hammer candle, it's either going to reject the high or the low here. In this case here, if it would have closed down inside it, you would have wanted to see it go test the bottom of it. In this case here, it rejected that price on the 25th. And what you can see is that what the Canadian dollar then would do, if you take, again, your retracement tool all the way from the high, and the high on the Canadian dollar was on October 27th. That's our P index date. And the low, again, was on the 25th. The 0.382, you can see how it crushed through that yesterday. The 0.382 was 0.9735. The 618 retracement looks like 0.9878. And where does it get to yesterday? Gets to 0.9879. You want to understand these retracement rulers, why it works the way that it does. It's because of patterns, folks. That's really all that it is. The patterns, you have a ritual or you have a pattern from the moment that you wake. And what I want you to have, and you have the same pattern when you show up at your computer screen when you start trading your markets. And you have the same pattern when you're inside trades. And what I want to be able to do is I just simply want you to recognize that, understand that, and the question you have to ask yourself is the pattern that you're currently in providing you with the results that you want? If they are, that is a beautiful thing, and continue to repeat that pattern day in, day out. But if they're not, whether it's in trading or whether it's in life, what you've got to do is you've got to make a change to your rituals, whatever they are. If you are going to be a leader, if you're going to be a problem solver, if you've got problems, what you have to realize, you wouldn't need the help of others if you had already solved that problem. If you've got a problem, you haven't solved it, and what you want to do is you want to be able to leverage off of others. You want to understand these two, because what happens, because patterns exist, that's why the charts that we look at, go to the 382, the 618, the 786s. It's absolutely, it never amazes me. I'm always amazed when it gets right to the penny. That's the only thing that I'm always amazed at. But with regard to being in the range, it never amazes me. Because why? Because I've spent a quarter of a century understanding why people do what they do. And patterns just simply are going to repeat themselves. They're fear and greed patterns. They're patterns that always are going to replicate. And that's why I want you to have a little bit deeper understanding of what's going on inside of you, because that's how you end up making massive change. That's how you end up going from a dreamer to a visionary. And there's just a little shift. That's all that's needed in order for you to be able to, have a life of abundance, whatever that means to you, whether it's an economic abundance, whether it is a abundance of just simply feeling the way that you do, whether it's just being happy with who you are. If we just take a look at the dollar index here, and what I did on the dollar index last night was I adjusted my my channel line just a bit, not really to meet my needs, but I saw when I took a look at the channel line that I had drawn there that it probably wasn't exactly at the right angle. It was a little bit too tight. And so the dollar, is still inside its uptrend channel move. And in fact, what's interesting about the dollar, if you go down to the low from October 27th, all the way up to the high that we had in the U.S. dollar index on November 25th, and you just simply take your retracement ruler, the 0.382 retracement of that move would be 77.96. And where does the dollar index get down to yesterday? It got down to 78.01, folks. So what can we say about King Dollar? I think what we can say about King Dollar is still alive and well, folks. There's our king, Tom O'Brien. There's a guy that's a leader. That's a person that's been able to transform so many lives. I know he has touched your life. He's touched our life. He's spent 15, if you're new to TFNN, he has spent 15 years doing that. And what he's created here, folks, he's created a franchise. He's created a franchise of the absolute best talent that's out there. You take a look at, there's a couple hundred years worth of experience between Larry Pesavento, Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, David White, Ken Shreve. Folks, you are at a franchise, and when you're running a business, you want to own a franchise. So you're in the right place, folks. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
As Tom says, go long, America. Now you can join TFNN and Barnes & Noble to keep money in your community. Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, before December 31st from your local Barnes & Noble store. And you will be given access to not just one, but two exceptional archived courses. Tiger Scaling, the Tiger Butterfly, and Gartley. The Art of Timing the Trade is more than just a book. It's an educational journey that will help you understand the Wall Street greed cycle and learn how to recognize profit from genuine price moves. So, for the cost of just under $30, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education from Tom O'Brien, TFNN, and Barnes & Noble. And you will be helping to support an important local business, your local bookstore. If you do not have a Barnes & Noble in your community, then go to your local bookstore. We'll be sure to work with them to keep your purchase local. So let's support our local businesses, keep money in your community, and get a great education. But be sure to act now, because you have until December 31st to take advantage of this opportunity. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Would you like to discover the next great tech stock? David White, TFNN's technology guru, has just launched his new newsletter, The Technology Insider. In his newsletter, David will be looking for those shining stars that may turn into the next Apple, Microsoft, or Cisco. David combines his technology background as a software programmer with his market skills as a successful professional trader to give you this unique newsletter. We're on the verge of the next great tech run. With the Technology Insider, you'll be in front of the run-up and not lagging behind. David is developing a long-term investment portfolio. Therefore, we're only offering the Technology Insider as an annual subscription with a remarkable price of only $395. That's right, for a little over $1 a day, you'll receive the fundamental technology wisdom and technical trading skills of the Technology Insider David White. What are you waiting for? Go to the front of TFNN.com, click on the link on the front page, sign up for your 2-week free trial, and become a Technology Insider today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the Opening Call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his Opening Call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his Opening Call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the Opening Call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of 2 emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the 4th quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York stock exchanges under the symbol GBG.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to your trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. Boy, time does fly, doesn't it? We're into our last segment, but just think, a week ago today, what were you doing? Some of you were preparing for Black Friday shopping. Heck, some of you might have been camping out, for all I know, at Best Buy or wherever it is, and hopefully you weren't. Hopefully you were spending time truly either being with family or preparing for a nice big meal, getting ready for the Detroit Lions football game. But just a week ago today, we were all getting ready to kind of stuff ourselves, if you will, and beautiful how time flies. Christmas is just around the corner. We're going to have to start playing all that great Christmas music here, getting that great Christmas spirit, if you will. And you know what I've got up on my screen here, and so let me give you a gift, if you will. What I've got up on my screen here, which you probably would really benefit from, is understanding the correlation between the dollar index and the markets that you trade. So what I've got up on my screen here is the S&P futures contract. So if you trade the futures contract, or whatever it is that you're trading, if you've got the ability to put a correlation in the charting software that you've got, then you want to be able to go ahead and take the correlation of the dollar index and whatever it is that you're trading. Because what you want to do is you want to take a look at some anomalies, and you want to, because you're looking for where things disconnect. And then you've got to make a decision in your mind as to what that means and how to interpret it, and then how to benefit from it, how to define a good reward-to-risk trade, understand the money management behind it. Why? If you take a look at the blue line here, the blue line is King Dollar. Just picture that as Tom, driving on into the office or wherever he's going, out to the beach, out to his boat, if you will. That is King Dollar. Now, What I've done is I've inverted king dollar. So in this case here, if the dollar is getting weaker, the blue line is going up. Okay, that way it's correlating. It's easier for me to correlate with regard to what's going on, because I would expect as the blue line is going up, the dollar getting weaker, I would expect also the red line, which is the S&P 500. This is on a 5-minute chart here, so we're seeing, very active information. And what you would want is you would expect, like you see throughout most of this, you're not going to look for them to be on top of each other, because they are on two different scales, right? You've got the dollar index right now trading out at $78.30, and this is on the scale of the S&P chart, which is trading out, as you can see, at $12.47. Gotta spread that. Let me move this over here just a little bit so we can see the actual number. There we go. Okay. And so what you're looking for, so if you were trading yesterday, we had that big up day. Was there a point in time that you can see on my screen here where the correlation became unhinged, if you will? I don't know if unhinged is the right word, but, where the correlation separated. Well, you absolutely can, because look at right here, right at about 8:35 in the morning, 8:40 in the morning, what you saw was that the U.S. dollar index was getting weaker. In fact, all the way up to the peak, right into the 9:05 time frame. And what you had was the ES mini contract that was not trading higher. There was the first time, and you would kind of expect that, right? Because, you had this big upsurge because of the release of information about all the banks getting together and sending out a signal that they're going to save the world. And, and I believe they are. I believe they're going to do everything that they possibly can. They should do everything they possibly can. We need leaders to absolutely be able to do that. But we have to understand the difference between when you get into a true quantitative easing program and when you're not. Look, what would make my life easy for the next 8 months is for there to be nothing but quantitative easing. Why? Because we'd be in the next bull run. I would just go ahead and take out a paper, the IBD, as a matter of fact, and I would just simply throw darts, and we could pick stocks, and we would be in, what would be nothing more than a conversion of translating what the value of something is, because you put more money into the money game, if you will. But you want to understand this, folks, because this would help you if you're trading these futures contracts and you want to be able to pull a trigger. You want to be able to take a look at times when the correlation disappears. Folks, 877. Oh, no, last segment. Tom and I will be back in about 8 minutes. Thanks for joining me, folks.
The Trader's Edge.
Good
with
morning,
your host,
all you wonderful money masters out there. Welcome. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the Trader's Edge. I absolutely love being here with you. Hour 3, we are in the home stretch. And, folks, I started, I don't know if you caught the first show. I'm not going to go into it all, but I want to carry through it with really the same thing. When I listened to that Rocky opening, I asked, what's your Rocky moment? And what I do, because of the feedback that I get from each of you, and I love getting emails from you, Steve at TFNN.com, if you've got some thoughts, input, doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, just love hearing from our listeners. And, so when I take a look at the opening, look, all of the openings that we play here, for me, have got meaning. They are all a part of being able to anchor me and to get me motivated to be able to deliver to you, a great show with great enthusiasm. I always have great enthusiasm, but, for when you're on stage, if you will, here, it's just so important that I do whatever I can to maybe touch your life in some way, just to give you something to think about. And Lord knows, with regard to everything going on in the markets or everything that we take a look at, there's always things to think about. In fact, I remember looking at a study not too long ago, and I'd have to pull up the exact slide. I don't remember the exact year, but I think it's about like 10, 15 years ago, that we used to have, that would filter into us each and every day, whether it be commercial messages, distractions. It was like about 3,000, if you will, elements that we had to contend with on a daily basis. Do you know what it is today? And again, I'm going back, let's say, 15, 20 years ago. Do you know what it is today? It's 10 times that. On a daily basis, we have 30,000 plus distractions, elements that are coming at us. So we've got 10 times as many elements that we've got to be able to deal with. And what's so important when you're running your business of trading or whatever business that you're in. Some folks are listening. They're not even in the marketplace. They're listening in on this show. They want to be able to get into the marketplace, or they use some of the information that I share, because what I take a look at this, folks, is if you're listening in, you are underneath my care, guidance, and protection. And to me, that's what it's all about. I've been a provider my entire life. And what I take a look at starting this show, I want you to know that you are under my care, guidance and protection. And so when I think about the Rocky moment, when I take a look at the anchor that's really there and I ask you, what's your Rocky moment? It's really all about, when I started at 9 o'clock this morning, I talked about influence, the power of influence. And the reason why I talked about the power of influence is because it will help you to shift how it is that you take a look at things. And what I mean by that is going back to, there are times when there are things that are so anchored within inside your system. Many times it's something that your parents, so as you were a child, many times it's something that your parents, said to you, and you simply interpret it at a young age. And it'll go back to your earliest memories. Some people can go back and they can remember something from age maybe 2, 3, 4, or what have you. Some people it's only age 10, maybe you just need to peel back an onion. But the reality is that the way that we're wired, many times the way that we respond, the way that we behave, is because of something that was said to us at a young age. So let me ask you, now that you're many years older than that, how well do you think you did at interpreting what was said to you so years ago? Like money doesn't grow on trees, things of that sort, anything. Those are the things that they get anchored. They get anchored into your subconscious. How important is your subconscious versus your conscious, folks? Which do you think is more important? Which do you think has more influence over your decision-making process? It's absolutely your subconscious. Do you think about breathing? No. But no, if I ask you to think about breathing, you can think about it. You can start measuring your heartbeat and things of that sort. But it's really your subconscious that takes over. Well, your subconscious that's taking over, that's impacting your decision-making, that's influencing you, are really from things that happened from so long ago. And if you're not getting the results that you want in whatever it is that you're doing in life, it's because you're allowing those things to influence you. And so influence, there's another word for influence, and that is, sales. And I talk about the importance of being able to run a business. When we take a look at trading and investing, I don't care whether and the interesting thing is that, it's like the word day trader. That's not what it's not what I am as far as the show is concerned, or what I do with my clients and when they're under my care, guidance, and protection. But even that has somehow been given itself as if that's a bad thing or what have you. That's the most insane thing out there when you take a look at the way these markets breathe. When you just take a look at the unconscious impact of how these markets breathe and how they go up and down. And so what I want you to do is I want you to understand that in order to be a great parent, a great investor, a great trader, a great coach, a great spouse, a great friend, a great coworker, you've got to understand not just what influences others, you've got to understand what influences you. And what I want you to do, and you've turned in here, because this is a part of the trading game, the money game, if you will. That's what I want to call about trading. I don't want to call it about investing. I want you to be able to make just a switch and call this the money game, because that's really what it's all about. Does it really matter to you, and I mean this in a legal sense, if you will, in this process here, how you make your money? Don't you just simply want to be able to make money on a consistent basis? And in order to do that, you've got to understand what things influence you in making decisions. And so when I talk about the Rocky moment, if you will, think about the strength that he had. Think about the mere fact of how he had to step up and be a leader for himself first. He wouldn't have been able to attain what he did if he didn't believe in his vision. At first it was a dream, nothing wrong with a dream, and he turned that into a vision, and he wouldn't let go until he got what he wanted. I want you to have that same type of conviction when it comes to the money game, because that is what we're playing here. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, you want to be able to play a money game that when you play that you're going to experience wins and losses. And that's just simply a part of the game. It's simply a part of any business that you run, and this is a business. And so what you have to understand is that you need to be influenced. And influencers, or leaders, in the case of Rocky, what it's really all about, folks, is that what leaders really do is they solve problems. And so that if you've got a problem in your life, no matter what it is, if you're not happy with maybe, your weight, your health, or what have you, and you haven't been able to solve it yourself, then you need somebody that can help you solve that. Because if you wouldn't have a problem if you knew how to solve it. And if you can't do it on your own, you are your own one-man army, your own one-woman army. And what I want you to be able to do is take what it is that I'm communicating and really teach it to your kids. really teach it to others, just like I want other people to be under your care, guidance, and protection, just as I want you to be under mine, and that's how it is that I view my clients and the relationships that I have with them. But I want you, like Rocky, to be that leader, to be able to transform yourself, and I want you to understand that if you're not getting what it is that you want, if you're not getting what it is that you want fast enough, what you need is you're going to need the help of others. So if you seek, you shall what? That's right. If you seek, you shall find. You know, you're here at TFNN, and so there's great people here that can absolutely, there's great leaders here that can help you, but there's elsewhere. Just look around and spend a little time understanding that, because you've got 30,000 things that are going to impact you today that are just simply going to impact your decision making. And when it comes to these markets and you start taking a look, that's why I want to be able to teach you patterns. That's why I trade patterns. Why do I trade patterns? Because I know when I trade patterns, I'm going to have a series of wins and losses. In fact, you should be watching us on TigerTV. And the reason why you should be watching us on TigerTV is because you're going to be able to experience, you're going to be able to see my charts, you're going to be able to see anything it is that I pop up on the screen. And what I want to pop up on the screen, if I can right now, I don't know if that was it. Let me see here. It's this right here. So when I trade patterns, the reason why I trade patterns is because I know that you, as an individual, have a certain pattern. I know that you wake up, you've got a certain ritual that you go through. I know you drive home the same way from work. I know that when it comes to the decision-making process in these markets, you're going to make the same decision over and over again, unless you decide that your decision process isn't working for you. I trade those patterns because I know it's going to get me a certain result. What my trading patterns are getting, you're looking at the actual results on the screen, the last 72 trades that my clients and I have made. And of those last 72 trades, 67% of them have been winners. 20 and 33% have been losers. To me, and the patterns, when I talk about the patterns of Gartleys and butterflies and the patterns that I trade, I expressed to you they've got a 70% win-loss rate. Well, this is actual facts. This is the data right here. And so whatever system you're trading, you want to make sure you understand what your experience rate is. And I teach you how to do that. In fact, you can go, I'm not going to do it now, you can go back to the last Friday, November 25th, go to the archives on Channel 14, and what you'll be able to do is I take you through the money management process, the money game piece of being able to trade and invest. So, you know, what you want to do is you want to be able to influence yourself so that you can solve any of the problems that you have in life, and I know that you can do it. So, folks, let's go take a spin around the markets. Let's see what we've got right now. You've got the Dow down 64 points, S&P down 6. You've got the composite down 7. You've got the NDX 100 is just turned red, if you will, just down a point. And let's simply go take a look. You know, one of the things that I haven't done in quite some time is let's just maybe dig underneath the covers of the S&P 500. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you take a look at the S&P 500, it's really broken down into 9 sectors, okay? So you've got the XLF, you've got the XLY, the XLB, XLP, XLK. You know, they're different sectors: technology, energy, consumer, utilities, okay? XLU. You've got the XLV, you've got the XLI. So we've got those 9 sectors. So when we come back from break, unless I've got a caller that calls in, and you're welcome to give me a call, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Let you help me co-host the show, 877-927-6648. Would love to hear from you, but if I don't, we'll go take a look at these 9 sectors, see if there's anything that we can learn and dig underneath the covers of the S&P 500. We'll be right back, folks.
Look at them stars and we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
As Tom says, go long, America. Now you can join TFNN and Barnes & Noble to keep money in your community. Purchase Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, before December 31st from your local Barnes & Noble store. And you will be given access to not just 1, but 2 exceptional archived courses: Tiger Scaling, the Tiger Butterfly, and Gartley. The Art of Timing the Trade is more than just a book. It's an educational journey that will help you understand the Wall Street greed cycle and learn how to recognize profit from genuine price moves. So, for the cost of just under $30, you will receive in excess of $300 in trading education from Tom O'Brien, TFNN, and Barnes & Noble. And you will be helping to support an important local business, your local bookstore. If you do not have a Barnes & Noble in your community, then go to your local bookstore. We'll be sure to work with them to keep your purchase local. So let's support our local businesses. Keep money in your community. and get a great education. But be sure to act now, because you have until December 31st to take advantage of this opportunity. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of The Money Game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end, as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
Give the gift of silver this holiday season. TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back. 877-927-6648. Right now you got the Dow off 52, S&P is off 5, Composite off 5 as well. Small caps off 5. Geez, I don't know what 4 5s in a row will get you. Of course, if you're in a poker hand in the Mirage in Las Vegas, I think that would probably get you the pot. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to absolutely teach some of you how to do something. Some of you how to actually dive underneath the covers and take a look and see what's going on underneath there when it comes to trading. Okay, we're talking trading here, folks. Now, I said we're going to go dive down and take a look at the different sectors within inside the S&P 500. So here's the first thing that I want you to be able to do. I'm going to point you to where you need to go and what you need to do. You probably want to even archive this show or make sure that you kind of write down these instructions. So we've got the S&P broken down into 9 sectors. What I want you to do is I want you to go to the select spiders. Okay, if you just type in select and then SPDR on your whatever your search engine is, you know, that will take you to the select spider homepage. That's what I've got up on my screen, so hopefully you're watching this here on Tiger TV. Now, Remember I talked about the 9 different sectors. I was giving you the symbols for those. Well, what you're going to see up top here is you're going to see the actual 9 sectors. So you've got your consumer discretionary, your staples, your energy, financial, healthcare, industrial, materials, technology, utilities. Those are the 9 sectors. And let's say you wanted to go ahead and you wanted to take a long or a short position in any one of those sectors. What you want to do, and so for an example, let's just simply go ahead and let's take a look at the utilities sector. Okay, the furthest one on the right. So you just simply click on that, and then that's going to take you to that actual sector. And what you'll see on the right-hand side, the second item down, what you'll see is holdings. All right, and this is going to give you the exact holdings as of the close yesterday. This is much better than going to Yahoo Finance and clicking on holdings inside there. This, you're going to get the exact holdings, and so if you click on that, it's going to show you exactly, from an index weighting standpoint, who the top holder is. And because what you'll find in many of these, now you can also download this file to a spreadsheet. So you've got here, you'll see it gives you download results. You can do it to XLS, or you can create a CSV file, and you can download it into something else if you want. And what it's going to do, you can see here, it says components and weightings as of November 30th, 2011. So this gets updated each and every night, and you want to be able to take a look at that. Now, you can see that in this case here, you've got Southern Company, which is the top weighting inside there. It gives you the symbol, so it becomes real easy. Dominion Resources, Excelon Corp, Duke Energy. And so, and what you'll find here is if you add up, let's say in this case here, let's just add up the top 10. So, and I'm going to round. You've got 9, 7, 16, and 7. You've got 23, 30, 35, 40, 44, 48, and should be about 51%. So 51% of the index is just simply taking a look at the top 10 holdings inside the utilities sector. And you want to be able to do that. Now I'm going to move this off screen here just for a moment so that we can then go through the next process. And so right now what I've got up on my screen here is the, I've got the XLB. Let's pull up the XLU, okay, since that's what we were working with. Give me a second to pull that up. So we're going to go to the utilities sector as soon as I can find that in one of my, there we go. So we're looking at the utilities sector, and let's see what the utilities sector is doing here. And we're just going to erase everything off my screen and just start from scratch. So when we're taking a look at the utilities sector, one of the things that we can see is we're trading near the highs. In fact, if we just simply went and took a look at just October 27th, since that's a date that we reference, right? We've been referencing October 27th in the S&Ps, and that's the date where I would start. I don't know if that's the actual high right here, but you can see it traded at 35.47 with 13 million shares. So what I do when I'm taking a look at a chart is I'll just simply go ahead and, assuming that's a swing point, and it looks like it is, I'll just simply draw a line across the top, from the top of the swing point as well as the bottom, just to understand if we're trading inside it. Now, with my trading platform, I'm able to easily just simply go down to that day and the volume and draw a line across so that I can understand as we came into that swing point, are we coming into that swing point with volume? Well, in this case here, you can see we came into that swing point yesterday. Now we gapped up. That's a wide range bar is one way to take a look at it. It's where you obviously have some energy and some power. And what you can see is we came up to it, and you came up to it with 7 million. So you had 7 million going into what we had, which was 13 million. Closed inside it. What that says to you is you should likely, the real test is now for it to get above the high, which is 35.47 on less than 13 million shares, close below it. That would give you your signal to possibly go short. What you really want to do is then go over and take a look at Southern Company, Dominion, Exelon, Duke, and so forth. Hope this is helping you, folks. 877-927-6648. I know it's helping you.
It's always better when we're together.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you want to get great trade setups in equity as well as the option market, come over to TFNN.com and test drive my daily newsletter, Market Insights, for 2 weeks absolutely free. Each trade setup comes with a profit projection as well as stop placement. Included in Market Insights is a Twitter alert service. This allows you to take advantage of intraday setups. Volatility is back in the markets. What does that mean to you? To me, it spells short-term opportunity each and every day. The days of trending up on lighter volume are gone. We have come off the highs with volume across the globe. Don't get caught in a complacency trap. Many of the indices have given back 2 months of trading in 1 week. We have a trader's market. You can take advantage of this traders market by test driving my daily newsletter, Market Insights, free for 2 weeks. Market Insights will give you the edge you're looking for in the markets. Go to TFNN.com, under newsletter, hit the Market Insight tab for your 2-week free test drive right here, right now.
Did you know that the price of gold is up over 24% this year, while the GDX, the Market Vectors Gold Miners ETF, is actually down 1.4% this year? Not all gold stocks are created equal, and not all gold stocks move with the price of gold. In October, Tom O'Brien recommended a buy of FCX in his gold report, and only 6 trading days later advised his clients to close the position, profiting almost 22% in this one trade. During the same 6 trading days, the price of gold was barely up 5%. Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, gives investors the inside edge they need to profit in this gold market. Each Monday morning, Tom issues a gold market update at around 9:30 a.m., then issues a full report each Tuesday afternoon. For as low as $75 per month, you can gain access to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. To order your gold report with a free 30-day trial subscription, log on to TFNN.com today or call 877-518-9190.
Are your cable rates rising? Tired of being pushed around by your provider? It's time to push back. Cut the cable and get Dish Network installed with absolutely no equipment to buy. Here's the best part. Packages start at just $24.99 a month for an entire year. That's right. Call now and get Dish Network installed free. Plus your choice of HBO, Cinemax, or Stars free for 3 months. If you call in right now, Dish Network will also throw in free HD for life. PMG Dish, a Dish Network authorized retailer, is waiting for your call and can have you watching TV as soon as tomorrow. Call 800-565-8010. Imagine all your favorite movies, sports, and shows in crystal clear digital quality for far less money, and you won't have to deal with the cable company anymore. At only $24.99 per month, they're practically giving it away. Call now for full details. Call 800-565-8010. That's 800-565-8010. Again, 800-565-8010. Limited time offer, prices, packages, and programming subject to change without notice. 24-month agreement required. Cancellation fees, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Call for details.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower your volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angelo O'Brien, financial advisor and certified financial planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. You get the Dow off 46 points right now. You got the S&Ps off 5, the composite off about 5, the small caps off about 5. You got lots of 5s going, and we were taking a look at, how to go in underneath the covers of the S&P 500. Take a look at the different sectors so that you can see what is going on. And what we just simply chose, just as was the utility sector, which is the XLU out there. And the XLU, actually right now, what we've got, the XLU is trading up 7 cents at 35.28. Now, what I showed you on the screen and was how to get there, how to get to the Select Spiders Trust, and then and be able to take a look from the top down. So you only really have to take a look at the top 10 holdings inside there to get more than 51% of the overall index. So the first holding that's in there is Southern Company. The stock symbol on that is SO. Now, what I've got up on my screen here actually is the monthly chart. Now, on the monthly chart, and then I have a nice tool that's on my system that tells me what the swing point expansions and contractions are And what you'll see here, what's interesting, as it's at its highs, it's at 44.21 right now, Southern Company. What you're seeing here is you're seeing that it's got a 1.272 expansion coming back from the highs that it had back in January of 2008. You'll also see that it's got a 1.618 expansion off of the highs here from January 31st of 2009. Now, what is interesting about Southern Company is if you take a look at two other prior patterns as it was coming in and making highs, you can see that it had a 1.618 here, and this is going from the swing point of December of 2006. And again, I'm looking at a monthly chart up to April 2007. You can see how it did 1 point, and then it pulled back, right? You can see how it pulled back just a bit. In fact, it did your 382 retracement, another one of those beautiful Fibonacci numbers. And then it proceeds and does a 1.618 expansion, and then it pulls back. And where does it pull back? It does a 0.618 retracement on a monthly basis going back to May of 2006. And it's beautiful to see how these numbers work. You can see a number of 0.618s and 786s. So it looks like, and look, you're not going to short this. That's not, the whole point is just simply so that you can understand the harmony that exists inside the marketplace. So that's Southern Company. That's number one. That is 8.8% of the XLU. Let's go take a look at number two. And number two is Dominion Resources. So let's go see what's going on with Dominion Resources. Now, if I were inside this sector, what I do, folks, is I basically take the top 10, or I try to get, about 50% of the total, and I keep that on a sheet off to the side, a spreadsheet, if you will, so that I kind of use, if you will, an arrow up, an arrow down, or a flat, so that I understand, is it completing a pattern, has it completed a pattern, and is that pattern on the way up or the way down? So if I'm inside the actual ETF, and you'll want to use this if you trade the XLE or the XLF, you want to be able to use this exact same process and system here that I'm showing you. So now what you do is we will go to Dominion Resources. That is the second largest holding. That is 6.9% inside there. Now in Dominion Resources cases, what you can see it had a pretty decent downdraft on November 21st. Right now you're trading out at 51.44. It's almost done a 0.786 retracement off of the high. That high had 2.2 million shares. Now, remember, the first thing that I do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the retracements on here right now. I mean the automatic between swing points. And one of the first things I do is go to the swing point and I draw a line across so I can understand as you're coming into the swing point, are you coming in with volume or not? Because if you're not coming in with volume, that means you can go up and test the high. But what you're doing is you're saying, I don't have conviction. So what did Dominion Resources do yesterday? That swing point from November 8th, the low on that was 51.68, 2.2 million shares. Yesterday, on a big move, you came in with 3.3 million shares. You got to a high of 51.66. Remember, the low of that swing point was 51.68. Almost as if you're building cause right here to at least take that swing point on. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Give the gift of silver this holiday season. TFNN and Great Panther Silver want to give you the gift of silver. From now until December 30th, TFNN will hold a drawing once a day, 5 days a week, business days only, and one lucky entrant will receive one of these beautiful coins that we will mail to whomever you desire. Winning one of these extraordinary coins could not be easier. There's no contest and no gimmicks, just a simple drawing, allowing you to give the gift of silver this holiday season. Go to the front page of TFNN.com for details.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of two emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the fourth quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York Stock Exchanges under the symbol GBG.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, I just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650, but you get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
And very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
Yeah, I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you know, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by South American Silver Corporation. For more information, just click the South American Silver Corporation banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back, 877-927-6648. And we are just simply taking a spin around the S&P 500, looking at the sectors that are inside there. So, again, what you want to do is you want to go to Select Spider's website, and you will see all 9 sectors along the top. And you can click on any one of them. For example, if you went to the financial sector here, if you click on that, what it's going to do is going to show you what the holdings are. All you have to do, actually, it'll show you right down at the bottom here. Let me click on holdings, and it will show you exactly what is inside there as of last evening. And before you go long or short, one of the sectors you really want to understand what's inside there. You can see Berkshire Hathaway, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan, Citigroup, Bank of America. And when you start adding these up, you'll see that it's really only about the top 10 or so that you've got to concentrate on to get a feel for what is going on inside that index. If you go over to the energy sector here, what you will see is you will see the holdings with inside there. You'll see ExxonMobil is number 1, Chevron is number 2. And this is where you really want to get your head wrapped around what's going on, because in this case here, Chevron is 18% of the XLE. So if you're playing the Doug, the double, you're playing the triple, you really want to be able to come over here, and just as I've done, you want to be able to, because look at this, on the XLE, folks, you've got 18% and 14%, so you're already at 32% for just 2 of the equities that are inside there. Go to the third one, Schlumberger, you're now up to almost 40%. You've got the next 2, so the top 5 will get you to pretty close to 50% of the XLE. So the other 2 being ConocoPhillips, COP, and Occidental Petroleum. You know, you can add Anadarko, and you're going to be, so 6 of those are going to get you over 50% of what is going on inside the sector. So you want to go ahead and do that. And if we just take a look at just some of the other sectors, let's close down this window here, and let's take a look at the financial sector. That's the XLF. Let's see what it is that we've got there. As soon as we can find it here on my screen. There we go, XLF. So we take a look at the XLF, and let's take a look and see what the XLF did yesterday and what it's doing right now. What you can see is the XLF yesterday was going after the swing point from November 1st. Now, that was a swing point that where the market had moved down after 3 trading sessions. The low on that was 1283. You had 214 million shares. And yesterday, when you were on quite an up day, you had 136 million. So you had 136 million shares going into that B point, if you will, that had 214 million shares. The low on that was 1283. Yesterday, you got to a high of 1287, closed out at 1281. So you can see the financials, even though we had the world leaders, if you will, in the banking industry, and the central bank industry coming to our rescue, if you will. The financials are saying, you know, Steve, you know, tigers, you know, tigresses, there's maybe more trouble in paradise, which is why you wanted to understand the other charts that I showed you in the first hour, and Tom and I reviewed when we took a look at the big up days and the big down days, the top 20 since the beginning of the Dow. How during a bear market you don't have, bear market. Yeah, during a bear market, what you have is all kinds of volatility like we saw yesterday, and you have those large up days and down days. And in a bull market, it's a quieter period. It's just a nice, it's a nice gradual growth, if you will. And so we're not in a bull market. And there's so many different, and this is not about me wanting to be negative. I just know that 61% of the time over the last 130 years, folks, that the market has been in some type of recession. I know that these patterns, that what we see on a chart is just about breathing, going up and down. All I want to do, and all I do, is actually take advantage of that. It's by understanding that patterns, these are non-random. These are not random patterns. These are non-random patterns. They continue to go on, and there's so much to be able to learn, to be able to learn, educate yourself on with regard to swing points and what's really going on in the marketplace. In this case here, the financials are saying whatever was done yesterday isn't enough. You know, and it's trading, and it's rejected that, you know, that swing point if you wanted to really see, you know, the swing point that and what we've also done here, you know, look at this beautiful math. Look at this beautiful sacred geometry where it's done a 0.618 retracement. So either the 0.618 retracement off of the November 8th high to the low that was made on the 25th is what I'm going to guess. Well, it was actually the 23rd in the financials. And you came and you were testing this swing point here. And is that information that you would want to know if you were playing the triple, if you were doing that from an intraday standpoint, you know, which would be the FAS and the FAS? You know, you absolutely would want to understand that. You'd want to understand these retracements and these rejection areas. If we go, let's see, let's go take a spin. You got 1147, so Europe is closed. Let's go see how Europe closed out here. And Europe, give me a second here to pull this up here on the screen. And if we take a look at Europe, so we'll take a look at the DAX. We got the DAX that's popped up here. And you can see that the DAX yesterday, I mean, what a bar. What a wide-ranging bar. You sliced through the 0.382, you sliced through the 0.618, and what did the DAX do today? It came down just a bit, tested the 618 area, still closed above it. So you closed out at 60.35, and the 618 that I'm looking at, folks, is going from where it made an ABC down pattern, completed a 1-to-1 A to B equals C to D, and the high that we were looking at was from 1028 at 64.30 all the way down to the low that it made at November 25th, which was 53.67 basically. And a 0.618 retracement of that is at 6,024. You closed above it. That means that the 0.786 is still in play on the DAX. If we go take a look at the FTSE, let's see what the FTSE did out there. The FTSE closed down 16 points. The DAX was actually down 52 points. And we pull up the FTSE, which is in the UK, and you can see, you know, the synergy inside these markets. You can see how yesterday the FTSE sliced right through the 0.382, also closed above the 0.618. And look what it did. The 618 is 54.90. And it closed really right there at 54.89.34. When we take a look at these numbers, folks, we're not looking to be exact. We're looking to be really in the range. This says here on the FTSE at this stage, excuse me, that the 0.786 is still in play there. What's it all about? It is absolutely always all about what's going on in the currency market. It's King Dollar. And the only way to understand what King Dollar is, just like we did on the S&Ps, is get under the covers, take a look at what's going on between the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the yen dollar, the Canadian dollar. Folks, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
It's always better when we're together.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the opening call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his opening call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his opening call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the opening call, a $64 value, visit tfnn.com today.
Hi folks, Steve Rhodes here. Tom O'Brien and I need your help. Together, let's change the cash for gold industry once and for all. Now is the time to unleash the game changer, and that's you folks. We've all seen the power of viral marketing. It's overthrown dictators, and now it's time to rid the thieves in this cash for gold industry. Together, we can change this industry in a heartbeat. You know about our industry-leading payouts, our free tools, our video valuation, and the education that we provide to help folks value their jewelry. Tom and I are experts and the industry's most trusted team. Please join us now by spreading the word to your entire email list. We'll pay you 5% of the total payout, which on average would be $50 per transaction. 100 transactions is $5,000 in your pocket. We'd rather put our marketing dollars in your pocket and more money in your referrals pocket. Go to TigerMetalExchange.com and click on the Become a Partner button to join our team. Let's start a revolution, folks. We can't do it without you. TigerMetalExchange.com, the only click you need to make. Studies show that 10,000 hours is what it takes to achieve outstanding results, unless you use the power of leverage. The power of leverage, folks, is key to attaining outstanding success in your trading and investing. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, and author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter. Let me take your trading to a new level, a whole new level. Let me teach you the secrets that the real money masters use each and every day to produce consistent financial results. On top of that, I'll transform your life in ways you never thought imaginable. You'll overcome hurdles like an Olympian. Here's the beauty. I'm so certain that I'll transform your life. I'm giving you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Time, folks, something you'll never get back. The time is now to take action. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and order Mastering Probability. It'll change your life forever.
Homeowners, did you know a burglar could break into your home and get away in just 5 minutes? A locked door may not be enough to keep a thief out of your home. Think about what you can lose, and then think about this. Now you can get a free security system monitored by ADT, the leader in home security. Pick up your phone now and get free hardware, free medical and fire alert, and free activation. It's an $850 value. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, at 1-800-949-8207. You'll get 24-hour protection, and there's no cost for parts or activation. So call now about a free security system monitored by ADT. Call 1-800-949-8207. $99 installation charge. 36-month monitoring agreement at $35.99 a month. Call for terms and conditions to this offer and protect your home license numbers. Call now. 1-800-949-8207. That's 1-800-949-8207.
Catch Larry Pesavento, a 40-year veteran trader. He uses pattern recognition, Gartleys, butterflies, ABCs, and Fibonacci in order to trade these markets. The Futures Hour with Larry Pesavento. Next on TFNN.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
It absolutely is, folks. Welcome back, 877-927-6648. And one last thing on the follow-up inside the select spiders, you know, and how if you decide that you're going to go ahead and you want to take a position in the XLF, the XLE, whatever it is that you want to dive down underneath the covers just to see what's going on with at least the, you know, top 4, 5, 6, 10 stocks, because it's going to make up more than 50%. The weighting inside the S&P is also is also weighted. The weighting is weighted. Does that sound bad or what? Man, I got to work on my grammar there. What I mean by that is the XLK has got a higher weighting than the XLU or the XLB. It used to be right up on the front screen on the Spiders page. It's probably somewhere I just couldn't find it, but you can see what the actual weightings are. And you can even do that kind of homework, if you will, if you're going to decide to go ahead and go into the SPYs or the SDS or the SSO or the SPXU, whatever it is that you're going to decide to trade. You can then go through and do the work and take a look at, okay, what's going on inside that sector. And you can do that just simply by taking a look at the sector. Just take the 9 sectors that you have and put a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or flat with regard to what pattern it might be completing. So that will help you when you understand that weighting, just whether or not, you should be taking that position or whether you should be just a little bit more patient. So let's go to Tony in Nashua. Tony, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
How can I help you today? What can I do for you today?
Okay. The stock bond, BORN. I'm just wondering how healthy that is. If you think it's going to break out, or I know it looks like it's in a consolidation now.
Yeah. Well, help me understand what you mean by healthy, if you will. Are you in this stock? Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
At 320.
Okay. 320 is a beautiful number. And why is that a beautiful number, folks? Because, what our man Tony has done is he bought that stock, right when it completed a nice not a Tiger Gartley, but a Gartley buy pattern. And what you'll see this Gartley pattern on my screen. You'll see a 1.272 expansion of swing points. You'll see that there was a 0.786 retracement. And so our man Tony is under the care, guidance, and protection of the Gartley pattern. And, right now today you're trading at $3.31. So it is up 13 cents off of yesterday. And, what you'd really like to see, this thing close today above $3.27. Why? Because then at the bottom here, you've got a bullish engulfing pattern, which is confirming a Gartley buy pattern. And, it doesn't get too much better than that, in my opinion.
That sounds beautiful.
Okay. You betcha. I'm glad that we sounded beautiful. And, folks, when we talk about being under the care, guidance, and protection here of the TFNN franchise, you absolutely, and I don't have to tell you this, you're going to want to stay tuned because you got Larry Pesavento coming up next. So what better friend could we have to be under the care, guidance, and protection of? And then coming up today from 3 to 4, you've got Ken, today's Thursday, yeah, you got Ken Shreve today, and then Tom to take it home from 4 to 6. And, if we just simply take a look at what's going on in the marketplace, you got the composite is up 1. You've got the Dow down 30. It's really all about what's going on inside the currency market. And, again, I don't want you being sucked in on the big volume that we had, not the big, the volume, but the big price movement that we had yesterday. All that did was just confirm we are still in a bear market, the worst bear market you or I will ever experience, I hope. And, folks, stay tuned. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Have a great one.